Hey everybody, welcome to the OG's Power Hour. So you notice it's just me today. We'll start with we're dealing with loss, and we've got some losses that we've had. Josh is out right now. He was going to be coming, but his sister is actually in the hospital. So we've lost Josh for a while. John Berfelo, of course, is on choruses right now, learning a bunch more on artificial intelligence and how we can use it to benefit things that we want to do. Mr. Toad has actually decided that he's going to be focusing on himself and his mom. We're going to miss him dearly. He was a bright light, and he's, as it says beside me, one lit candle can light many without ever diminishing its own light. And Tony is definitely a lit candle that has brought much joy to our network, and the information that he has shared, what he has done and dedicated himself to in helping others. Tony, we appreciate you, brother. And we hope that in whatever you choose to do, that you have wonderful success. So, I see Rory is here. Hey, Rory, how's it going? Silly Lily. Guys, it's dealing with loss. Let's start with what's happened to myself and my wife in the last week. We had a major loss in our family. Lily's dad passed on Tuesday, peacefully, with Lily and her sister there to be with him. I couldn't be there because we had one of our senior puppies transitioning at the same time. So I wasn't able to be there, but I did get to call him and speak with him. And I want to let you in on something that happened there. He was eyes closed, not really able to focus. When he heard my voice, his eyes popped open. We had a little conversation. He was able to focus. And I was able to tell him that I loved him. And he was able to say the same thing back, and clearly. And it's that energetic transference. He was always a hugely positive man. And I'm pretty positive myself, pretty upbeat. I don't get down very often. And I pretty much try to bounce back really quick. But that's in how I look at things. And that's why I'm here talking about loss. So I want to share a little story with you guys that happened to me when I was playing the big guy in red. And I think I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it to you guys again. A young child, maybe 7, probably not even that old, but say it's 5 to 7 years old, came to sit on Santa's knee, and she asked me to bring her daddy back. Now, first thing that popped in my head is, okay, well, he's on deployment in the military, because we have a military base fairly close, something like that, a divorce situation. And I asked her where her daddy was. And she looked at me and says, he's in heaven. And well, like you're playing Santa Claus. You don't exactly expect a question like that. Can Santa bring my daddy back to me? Now, I've always had a different outlook on when we transition. And I understand that my physical form is going to end, but who I am, my essence, my soul, and depending on your upbringing, whatever you want to call that energy that is us, I don't believe it just ends, I believe it's always there. And I also believe that no matter what happens in my life, I can close my eyes and see my father-in-law or other people that have passed, my puppies. Um, and I go back to those joyful moments, and they're there. I smell, I feel the sunlight if it was in sunlight. I can bring my self back to those special moments so that they're never gone. As long as I'm still around anyway. But I believe that that energy is always going to be there. And so that's basically the perspective I had when answering this young lady's question about bringing her daddy home. I looked at her and asked her to close her eyes and asked her to envision her daddy. And I said, do you see him? She says, no. And I said, well, you got to really try harder and believe. And she's all of a sudden you could see the energy around that young woman change. And it was a burst of light, of positive essence as her face just brightened and her eyes popped open and they were glowing. And she said, I can see him. And I said, then he's never gone. And anytime you need your daddy, all you have to do is close your eyes and he's going to be there for you. And well, of course, looking up to the mother that was standing there mouthing thank you and seeing the tears in her eyes, Santa took a break. Okay. Santa went and had a stiff drink, and then got back to the kids. But it's the way that I've always believed, whether it was a pet. I'm a farm boy. So when it comes to life and death on the farm, it's very stark and realistic. Um, and you learn very young that these types of things happen, and it's you pick yourself up, you shed a tear, um you deal with that side of it. And believe me, I cry. When our puppy passed on Thursday, I was holding her in my arms, you know um see, I still feel it now. But that is good for me, and it's good for you. It is allowing that out, and that is how I deal with it. I don't dwell on anything but the brightest moments. I remember her running around. I remember all my puppies. We had one Merlin, and just a little pup, and he would sit there and he would dance, literally dance, and you could see the joy and happiness. And I can go back to those memories. And John talks about this in anchoring those positive memories. And so that's where, when I'm feeling those moments of loss, and it's me feeling it, when we cry, it's for us. It's not for that person that's passed. Um, that person is no longer with us, other than their energetic connection to us, and that's never gone. It is that essence of allowing yourself to have those moments in time where you can just pour out the stuck emotions. We've talked a little bit over the years that I've been on here about shadows and shadow work. When someone passes, that's a shadow, or it can become a shadow that you need to deal with. Whether it was a loss of a parent, a child, a spouse, an animal. Me and my grow, the R&D grow, that hit me hard. I'm still not recovered from that one. And that was just plants. Um, it is understanding where you weren't responsible, unless you pulled the trigger. You are not responsible for anyone else's existence other than your own. So celebrate the life that you had with that person or that animal or those plants, and live with positive intent and memory of those events. I think that's one of the biggest things that I can share with people is living in those positive moments that uplifts you. And when you do have those shadows, dealing with that emotion, letting that emotion go. It's about learning the lesson that was there. And sometimes those lessons can be very, very harsh. We don't like to learn them, but we're here, and you are exactly the person that you have become from all of your life lessons. Everything that has happened in your life has made you into the person that you are in this exact moment. So, in your losses, in your joys, in your education, in your upbringing, that's who has created this wondrous person that you are. Um, and that is to be celebrated, whether you are passing yourself. And I know that several people that have watched our broadcasts have transitioned over time that we've been together. And I see the community chat asking about so and so, has anybody heard from so and so, etc., because we care. We are that caring and sharing in community. That's one of the reasons that I put that banner up on a half-ass regular basis, is it is about helping each other. And in growth, like my other saying over here is, however you grow, whatever you grow, just grow. It's not just about plants or animals, but it's about us. It's about growing us inside to deal with things like this and to help others to deal with them. It's not easy. Oh, I think we just got John Berfelo just popped on. John Berfelo. Oh, nice shirt, man. You're on mute.
I'm on mute. I had to come in with a nice dress shirt today. Say.
Looking good.
Who's out there? Don't let Morpheus outside. There's gonna be an eclipse. Don't let the cat outside. Okay. I don't care.
Google's product. It has.
Hey, Eddie.
There's going to be an eclipse today, so I don't want them outside. You don't want to have your animals outside during an eclipse, right? You should guys know that. You should lock your animals inside if they're having an eclipse and give them that love that they need. So,
all right. Sure.
I want to come here and give you some love and appreciation and look at the ones that have blessed us with their spirit and be able to give them the one thing that we get in life. We only get one thing. It's called time. And the time we get to spend with one another really highlights on what we get in life, which is the value that we give to one another with the time that we spend here on this plane, we should say. So I just want to acknowledge the time that you've been able to spend with your father and the time that he got to spend here giving back to the community, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have you, my brother. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have a show all about biology. So I want to give you some blessings today and say thank you.
Oh, thank you, John. I know you lost your mom several years ago, and it's never an easy time for any of us. But living in that joyful moment, and those anchors that you talk about, is how a lot of people can move through it and make it a lot easier on themselves as well.
Mom's always here. She's
Yeah.
always with me. She's always in my heart. She's always in my love. She's always in my light. And one thing we can look at that is really how far we've come with that. And, it's...
Lily wants to say, John, it was her dad that passed, not mine.
I said, that is your dad.
Yes. Well, yeah.
No, that is your dad. I met both.
Yeah.
I know. It's both your dads. It's our dad. I mean, you guys have been together for that long. I mean, I look at my family as my parents, of my friends. So when I lose a loved one or a friend, I lose a brother, I lose a sister, I lose a father, I lose a mother, I lose a grandmother, and I lose a friend. But most importantly, what I get was the blessings that I get, which is the gains they gave me in their life to be able to kind of grow forward. It's that ancestral blood, or it's the information that we obtain through the passion and the heart. That's the true essence of what we get in life. It's not what we get from the head. It's the passion that we share from the heart and from the, our real mind, which is our gut mind, the one that focuses and tells us what not to do and what to do.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm here, giving grace. I wanted to come in and say, and Hetty's here because we're doing the AI assistant courses, of course, and learning how to use all these great things. So there's, of course, Hetty, and understanding crawl, queue. And I'm going to do some courses, Ken. I want to start doing some weekly stuff on AI like we do here and Giving Back, like I've been doing in my channel for so long. And I haven't been doing some videos because of the growing and just the capabilities of that has been kind of like just changed a little bit for me. But one thing I have been doing is to grow forward with AI technologies and using these technologies to help me with my medicine, to help me with being able to focus on my growth with business and within the industry, and seeing how to use all these cool tools. As it's on in front of me right now, Henny's reading it. I don't know if she's on her phone. No.
Taking notes.
Taking notes. Take notes. What you write, you invite in life. Remember that. What you write, you invite. And we invite the grace of what we get, which is the information being handed to us. And then you get to take that information and you get to what? Apply the knowledge. And that gives you experience. And you fail.
Yeah.
Fail again. And you learn from that. Right, Morpheus? He wants out. He's not happy. When is the solar eclipse today, guys?
I think Lily was saying something about it starts here around noon, so that would be 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah, it's in you're not going out, Morpheus. It's going to be in like 40 minutes. It's not just around the corner, so he can meow. He's not going to be too happy right now, so we can take a look at that. And we're demonstrating, we're using Gemini. I'm using a lot of different large language models, and we can use that for, you know what? You know what's beautiful of what we can use a lot of the tools we're having today is to reflect on what we've come from our ancestors and the information. And we can see how far we've come by just doing some simple research.
Mm-hmm.
Research where you are in your life. Research what you have. We learned one today, and I've used it before, which is Dreamsicle, and it actually puts down what you want, where you are in your life. Just write down something down, and it gives you a timeline where you are. Or I put my website in there, and it did a website analyze the health of my website. Told me how to the tools that we used to do today. Before we used to put out little, remember anybody get paid to do a little, to do a little online little thing? You get $20, you get $100 to be involved in a group in the days. Anybody? No, you never got paid to be involved in some little hey, you want to do? I'll pay you $20 to take this little survey. But they used to do it in the malls in the 80s. Come on, they would give you a cup of coffee or free something, take a little survey. Those surveys is called how we got the data to where today. We all get it in our houses. You got to fill out these surveys for the government every year. All these little surveys. Ken's I don't know. Guaranteed.
I've done them, but it's
And we fill them out. These surveys are how we collect data and how we know where we are today and how we can create more content within our business. Well, we don't have to do surveys anymore.
No.
Right? Because we have some people doing surveys, a lot of this is on Google, but it's not up to date. So now we create the surveys in real time by taking a look at the demographics of where you are and stuff like that. So, I come in to say hi. I come in to say grace and say thank you for just being present.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I haven't heard from you in a week, and I've been busy in these solid courses. That's what I get to do in life. And we have the 420 live. It's just around the corner, so that's consumed a lot of the time. I'm being setting that up and having that all come forward, which is going to be pretty awesome. We're going to have a little group session there. It's going to be a little thing. We're going to be talking about the before being in legacy, moving to legal. We'll have a few people will be on stages talking about this and presenting exactly what they've seen in the industry and how it helped the people today learn from what we've learned through to give them that knowledge so they can grow forward.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it this
I
year.
don't know if I'll be able to make it now because things have changed and that's just the way life is. And I understand that. And, but you'll always be there because you're there in spirit, you're there in heart.
Yes.
So there's going to be some things coming up that are unforeseen. At the same time, there's a celebration of life.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's celebrating people's lives. So you better get back to work, John. You got to learn this stuff so you can teach it.
Okay, I'll be back. I love you guys.
Bye.
Well, blessings to everybody and to the family and to, I just want to say you guys are awesome. And look, it's Mission Monday. What is your mission for the week? What is your vision? Where are you going? What do you see for your future?
Yeah,
I just see nothing but this grace. GreenwayAI.ca is live. Went live yesterday.
Oh, okay,
Free seminar coming up on May the 4th. Be with you. I'll be doing a 2-day seminar for a couple hours on the 4th and the 5th. It's all about the force, guys. The fourth within. Free seminar on how to use this. You can take these tools and take them with you wherever you want to go. Then I'll be doing weekly, kind of like I do here with you in a different way. And then, of course, I have some courses behind that too. So definitely check it out. And if you need to know anything, message me. I'll just tell you.
Okay, guy.
Lots of love.
Much love. Okay, there it goes. Well, there you go, guys. An update on what's going on with John and his choruses, and like as I mentioned before, it's John talks about these anchors in our lives, positive and negative. The negative ones, of course, are your shadows that you need to, deal with and learn the lesson from, and that's really what I was talking about, a little back. Was learning those lessons and moving forward in your life with the new knowledge that you have. That's your life experience. That's where, listening to old folks, you can learn a lot because they've had all those experiences in their lives that have taught them the different perspectives. Now, in today's modern society, there's a lot of reliance on like what's happening with John with the artificial intelligence, the cyber vehicles, the vehicles that drive themselves. That I was looking at stats on Tesla's self-driving or help assist, I think they're calling it now, and the percentage of accidents that system has had compared to a normal person driving is astronomically more efficient and safer using that other technology. So there's so many things that science is helping us with today that we're having more time for us, I guess, is the best way to look at it. A lot of the responsibilities that we would have had to have 100 years ago, to go out and hunt for our food, isn't there. A lot of what we have in the first world countries, because a lot of places around the world don't have our modern conveniences. And when you talk to people that go to these places, a lot of those people are very happy, positive people. They're surviving with what they have and don't really necessarily strive for that, almighty buck, because it's just not there. But they're happy because they have a life that they're living, and they're living in joy. There's a lot of stressors. There's a lot of people that aren't living in joy because of their circumstances. But a lot of the tribes, aren't doing that badly in a lot of these areas if they're not tied up with, the craziness of our global system. Kind of went a far off track there, guys. I shouldn't really be talking about stuff like that. But when you're dealing with loss, there's losses on a global scale happening that we can't affect. We can affect them energetically, but we can't affect them physically. Um, and that's where, if you're having or dealing with someone passing, or you're blaming yourself for something that happened, or even just that you never got to say goodbye to that person, or you had an argument before they passed, there's all these shadows that we can create. And if we don't deal with them, they'll drag us down. And we need to have that positive energy, because it's that positive energy that is affecting a change on our planet on a global scale that is moving us to a much better place. We just have to get through the craziness that's happening now, and staying positive, being that lit candle I talk about, and shining that light of positivity. It drives the darkness back. And that is what we're doing right now on our planet as a species. There's enough of us shining that light energetically, being positive, being happy, that we're making the change. We're affecting everything that's happening. Even when there's negative things happening, the positive is winning. I'm not a religious man. Like, I use the term source instead of God or Jesus, or because I believe in that essence. Now, I just use the term that's easiest for me, and in a lot of ways easiest for you guys, because by using source, I just open it up for whatever your personal beliefs are. But that energy does exist. We tap into it when we do a lot of the things that we do. If you're creating something, whether you're drawing a picture, whether you're building a house, you're you know creating artwork, music, that's all positive, or should, I hope, be positive. There are some pretty negative music, etc., out there, but I don't listen to that stuff. So that's part of my ability to stay positive, to stay uplifted, is I can observe what's going on, but I don't need to absorb that. If I can't personally, reach out and pick that person up off the ground, then I can't be held responsible for that person in my own mind. And that's the thing. It's in our perspective. Everything is based on your view of the world. If you see on TV that this is happening and that is happening, unless you're right there to affect that situation, you're not, you can't hold yourself responsible for that situation. You might not like to see that situation happening, and you might feel badly about the things that are happening, but you don't need to take that into yourself as your personal responsibility. And that's why, when I talk to people about observe, don't absorb, it really allows the person to step back from the situation that they're seeing and not get trapped in the emotions, in the fear, etc., of what's happening, because you can't affect that. You can only affect yourself. You're, like Dr. Dip is saying, cosmic beings, and that's who we are. We are cosmic beings, and we're attached so many ways to the energy flows around us, and keeping that positive. That's how I do the dealing with loss, is by bringing those positives into my mind, into my spirit, into my energy, and lifting me up through that. Am I going to miss my puppies when they pass? Am I missing my father-in-law? Am I missing other members that have passed? Yes, of course, and I always will. But when I feel that energy coming in a negative, I'll switch that to a positive thought. And it's like what I tell people, when you get up in the morning, you make a choice. Are you going to be positive? Are you going to be, happy? Are you going to be a dweeb? You're going to be mean? You're going to be nasty? It's your choice every day. Every day when you wake up, it's your personal choice. Myself, I choose to be that positive, energetically motivated person that is trying to bring a greater change, both energetically as much as with knowledge and understanding that I've gained through tens of thousands of hours of research. And you guys see the different things that types of things that I research, from building science to biology to astrophysics. There's I love knowledge, and so I bounce around. I don't really. Oh, and there's probably the sister-in-law calling. Oh no, it's an unknown caller. Sorry, guys. We'll just let that them call. I'm not going to bother to answer it, but there, it's done. There's so much positivity in your life around you if you slow down and find it. The old saying of stopping to smell the roses really has a different effect on a person that is down. If you stop and look for a positive, and you don't stop looking for that positive, you're going to find it. It's going to come to you, because that's the energy that you're putting out, whether that's, looking at a flower, whether that's looking at a sunset, or, today, the eclipse. That should be pretty funky. We were actually trying to get Stefan Burns, the geophysicist, in to talk about it later today. But he's in Germany, so time zones just aren't matching up. But we do have Charlie Schultz coming on, one of the leading experts in the world on aquaponics. Learned from the master himself down in the I think Hawaii or somewhere down in that area. They where aquaponics really got established as a means of growing. But anyway, we'll get back to dealing with loss. Is there anything like, I haven't really been watching too much of the chat, guys? Sorry. I don't know if anybody had any questions or anything like that on this topic, or anything else. I'm open to talking about what you guys would like to talk about. I just thought that I would come on and talk about this, and explain, this explains why we didn't have any shows last week, guys. So we're back to our regularly scheduled programming again. So we'll just carry on from there. And I really appreciate you guys for coming and listening to me today. It's you guys that are helping me to move forward, and I really appreciate that you guys show up every week. It means a lot to the mission that I have, to get this knowledge of it's all about the biology out to enough people that we can affect our soils, we can affect our oceans, our lakes, our rivers, and bring the biology back into a balance, to hold back the biological collapse that a lot of people see coming. It's this knowledge of us all getting it out there that's going to slow that down, to give us more time to truly fix the problem, to transition through this craziness, to have a more balanced approach of the farmers understanding what's going on, to really create those really vibrant crops that used to be there in those soils because there was life in those soils. Um, that's one of the losses that kicks my ass every day, is seeing more um, things go extinct on our planet. There's every day, there's things that we find new that we've never found before, and then there's the things that we have found that we're losing. It's going to hit critical mass one of these days if we don't slow it down. That's why I'm here. That's why I deal with everything that I deal with on a daily basis, to try to bring this understanding to more and more people. It's why John is doing what he's doing. There's a lot of the technology that he's playing with that's going to help all of us get this information out to people. And you guys, the defenders of the biology, that's who you guys really are. You're out there every day, you're talking to people. I don't get out much. I try to, but unfortunately, as what's going to happen with John's event, I don't believe I'm going to be able to make it this year. But hopefully, I can do some events locally to us here this summer. I'm also working with the Alberta Cannabis Micro Association, and we're going to be trying to do some events with them as well. It's all about caring, sharing, and community, trying to help each other to learn and grow and understand. That's the reason for the channel. That's the reason for today's show. If I can help one person with the Santa story, understand that that father or mother or brother or whoever that was is never truly gone, and I can bring their energy back to that positive side, that is all that is necessary. That is all that I can ever accomplish for anyone, and that brings me joy, that just one person can be affected. A smile can change someone's life. A positive attitude will change yours. We talked last week about positive mental attitude, or well, actually 2 weeks ago now, but it's that positivity that is going to get us through anything that's negative around us. Understanding uh, this body is going to fail me, but this energy that I am is forever. And I'm going to keep affecting and using this body as long as I have it to try to help others. It's not about me. It's about helping, you know, this planet have a future, and a healthy future, if we can spread the knowledge and get people to taste the food that is growing out of a truly living soil system that is alive with the biology. You know, most people, once they have reached that and have tasted it, they want more of it. And we can show them, on a global scale, how we can change the soil, how we can use composts and worms and things like the muncher. Um, there's ways that we can quickly change the situation. I know one guy was making EM1 balls, okay, clay balls, and they were on Earth Day. They were throwing them in under a river bridge, um, and it literally took the silt away, the effective microorganisms. That's that transitional biology that I talk about that exists both in terra firma, in the water systems, in the air system. It all comes together and it broke up that silt, and all of a sudden downstream in the delta where they were supposed to have some big huge project, big hotels, all of a sudden there was life back there, and they stopped the project, or had to stop the project, because there was this species that they hadn't seen in years, all of a sudden was back. Well, the biology was back. They could exist there. It's like when we plant a seed, if you're not matching the conditions for that seed to sprout, well, sorry, it isn't going to sprout. And by adding that biology back into that system, they were able to change the entire delta back and return it back to the life that it needed. And we can all do that. We can all, do, EMs. Okay. You can purchase the one with the mother. Matt Powers talks about how you can keep that alive. He's always got, drums of it being created. That's just one of the ways to get biology back into the system. But there's the worm castings, taking your compost, and making vermicompost, so feeding a biologically complete compost to your worm bin, and making this next level, taking that and not just spreading it on the soil, but making an extract from it, stripping the life, the biology out of it into a solution. And all of a sudden you can go from a pound of worm castings to 1,000 gallons of a foliar spray that's full of life and full of that biology. That's using it to a next level. Then of course we're going to be having the Muncher crew back on. um, they're doing some amazing stuff, but that's another method of having a biologically active fertilizer that can be added back into any type of system, whether it's aquatic or our soils, to put it right onto the plants to give them the boost they need. uh, it's such an amazing thing that we're going to be able to accomplish. We just got to get to that point. um, it's so much better to have a positive attitude about what's going on, and that's where I'm going to focus my time. That's how I can help myself deal with losses, is by focusing on what I'm doing to make a difference, what I'm doing to help others, that can raise my energy and hold my energy up, and not have losses or a step backwards or hitting that brick wall and bouncing back and going, oh my goodness, what just happened to my nose? Um, it's We all face those trials and tribulations. We all run into those brick walls, and it's that positive attitude of, okay, so if I can't go this direction, where can I go? And then looking at all the possibilities. There's so many times in our lives where we fall down, we pick ourselves up, and we look around, and it's like, okay, where do I go from here? Well, there can be a multitude of opportunity there if you only look. So don't just jump at the first direction that you can go. Take that moment of time and look at all the different potentials. If I can't go north, well, I can go northeast, northwest, I can go south. There's so many potentials. And it's in exploring those potentials that I have learned a lot of the things that I have learned, because I'm searching for this and all of a sudden I can't find any more on that. So you know I try to go around, like the S phase. I kept running into everything leading me to RNA and DNA, and I kept digging and kept digging. It took a long time to find the true, first steps of the cell. And that cell division is the core of existence. And of course, it's all about the biology. That's where running into that wall and having the experiences in my life that I've had to go through, the losses, whether that's the physical loss of ability, the coming close to passing myself twice, to the accidents. You look at John Berfelo, how many times he has been in an accident that has changed his life, and he's had to refocus what he's able to do, and that's led him to where he is now. My life experiences have led me here to be sitting with you guys right now, talking about this stuff and trying to share my experiences to help you guys. So staying positive is one of the biggest things in hanging around positive people. If you're hanging around negative people, then that energy is surrounding you, and that's going to hold you down. And that's where I've, in my personal life, I love everyone, but I set some pretty strict boundaries. And if you're a negative person, then I just won't associate with you. Um, there's a lot of things that happen in our lives where we can make that choice. Um, whether that's, friends, family, associates, etc. It's you that makes that choice. And there's lots of times where it is not an easy choice to make, to put that person aside because they're bringing your energy down. They're holding you into their level of success, in whatever they're doing, and they don't want you to get ahead. And it may not even be that in itself in their core, but anybody that is holding that back is keeping you in shadow. You need to step away from to move back into the light. It's in that moving in the light that we're going to be able to succeed in whatever we want to do. Whether that's, me trying to fix the biology on our planet, Leighton Morrison doing the same thing, there's so many people that are working towards the same goal. And I know a lot of you are working towards this goal as well, as you come to understand that without that biology, we're done. So we've got to keep adding that into ourselves, because that's our health is in our gut biome, and what we feed that gut biome to break down to build healthy cells in us, as well as our animals and our plants. And it doesn't matter if it's a cannabis plant, a tomato plant, any type of plant, an oak tree, but giving it the diversity of biology that is necessary for it to fully have the genetic potential reached, because it's got all the components, which is created by the biology, and then it's got the workforce to put it all together. That is the essence of my message, and why my dealing with loss is on a positive note of energetic up and not energetic down. So I'm going to take everything that I've learned from losing the people in my life and losing the pets in my life and turn it all into not the negative of loss, but the positive that I was there to enjoy those special moments in time that are going to lift me up and keep me positive. And I hope that in everything that you do, you can find that positivity in yourself, in your life, in your interactions with what you're doing, whether that's, you know, dealing with other people or just dealing with your family or with your pets or with your plants. Tony talked about how going into his grow to meditate, and that energetic, uplifting is really the what brought him back from despair. Um, it is in those moments of understanding that we can come back, we can interact with the energy that's positive around us through the plants, through the love of our animals, through the love of our friends and our family. And when that person or that animal goes, that positivity and that love is in your heart as long as you're here. And it's taking the time to connect or reconnect with those moments of joy and happiness that is really going to affect your outlook on life in general. And it's going to affect everybody around you. Now, don't forget, you want to get rid of those negative people out of your life, but the positive people around you, if you're being negative, you're infecting them with that negativity as well. So watch out that you don't end up being the one put aside because of your negative attitudes for what you are doing to yourself and to others. It's all one person that makes the choices in your life, and that's you. There's nobody else. Like, I know the first time I came onto the Future Cannabis Project with Leighton and Brian, I told them then that I'm really without ego, because it doesn't matter what other people say about me. It only matters how I react to what they're saying. So if somebody is saying, negative things about you or about what you're doing, their opinion really does not matter. Okay. If in your life, in your experiences, you have created who you are, if you feel that it's right inside of you, then it's right. Other people may view it as wrong, but it's your choice, it's your life, and you can choose to step right or step left. It's all on you as the individual to make those choices. You look at things like in the Bible, where they say the Christians, went into the Colosseum with no fear. They had such a strong belief that when the physical form was gone, they were just released to go back to Jesus. Um, it's it's having that acceptance that the physical form is not the end, understanding that when you transition over and you look back at your life and you look back at what you have done, and not just to other people, but to yourself, you affect your spirit, your life experiences, whether you have hurt someone, whether you have been this wonderful person, whether you've been a negative person, the experiences you've had, those shadows, if you've dealt with them while you're here, you don't have to deal with them when you transition. But if you haven't, when you transition, you're going to have to deal with that. And believe me, as far as I understand, it's much better to do it now before you transition than after you transition. Um, and you can also deal with ancestral things that have happened. There's a lot of things where, I'm just going to use physical abuse as one of the things that happens generationally over and over again, and breaking that curse, stepping out of that model that you have lived with all of your life is such a positive thing and so hard to do. But you can do it. But it's the choice within. I tell people, if you want the true answers to everything, don't look without, look within. That's where the true connection lies, is inside of you. It's not the things around you. That's knowledge we can gain, but pull that knowledge into the essence of who you are inside and ask yourself the questions. Ask the energy inside of you if that's a good answer, a bad answer. And it's going to tell you, that's your instinct. That's that gut feeling that you have to turn right instead of turning left. And you just avoided that accident. It's inside of you, those connections. I have learned so much over the decades about energy, about healing. And I looked into quantum touch. It's and they're still around because I looked them up not that long ago. That you can use your energetic connection to the life around you. You can raise your energy up by doing breath work, and you can actually help to heal someone else by them having to match your frequency. Because you're so positive, it automatically draws them up. And children are the best beneficiaries for this, because they haven't been told that they can't do it. So they just, oh, okay, well, if I do this, this, and this happens. And it happens every single time. That is the energetic flow that we can tap into to raise ourselves up. And before I started coming on to YouTube, that's where I was. I was, playing in that high energetic field, and putting in those positive waves of energy consistently every day. And now I'm here doing this with you guys, where I was just doing it into the energetic planes. And we can all do that as well. We can all smile at someone. That one simple smile can save someone's life. I know I've said that before, but I'll give you a quick little story. We're down to 1 minute here, but a guy was walking across a bridge. There was a person coming towards them. They looked really depressed, and he said hi and smiled at him. And the person, was shocked, okay, that somebody said hi to them and smiled at them, and they passed. And the person that had been smiled to is the one that wrote the story of, I went to that bridge to jump. That person that smiled at me and gave me that burst of love saved my life. A one smile can save a life. So, guys, I love you all. I want you to keep smiling, stay positive. And if you really need to, get out of those negative emotions, find one of those anchors that are positive. Go live there for a couple of minutes. Just close your eyes and live in that moment to bring yourself up to where you really need to be and want to be. Love you all. Blessings to everybody. As I said, Charlie Schultz is on with Leighton Morrison this afternoon. And of course, Andy Lopez and myself are going to be back on Wednesday. We will see you all then. Till then, guys, peace out. We'll see you with Leighton in a little bit. Bye-bye.